Hi everyone, welcome to GuiNet Technologies. Right, so now we are going to discuss about the very important concept that is a Zscaler, and basically we known as the Zscaler client connector. Right, so this is the very key component in the Zscaler, and whenever you go for any kind of the deployment scenario, any kind of the configuration scenario, any kind of troubleshooting scenario, this is going to play a very vital role. And I can say, like, without this GCC client connector, you cannot achieve the required all the Zscaler solution, and you cannot deploy it, you cannot implement, and the traffic cannot be forwarded toward the Zscaler. Right? There is a way. Without this, we can do that, but nowadays it's become the very essential part. Right? So we'll try to understand the core concept of this Zscaler client connector, how this client connector can be deployed, right? And what are the deployment method we have. We try to understand uh, some basic fundamental of the forwarding modes, what availables, and later we'll do the deep dive about that, how what all the forwarding method we have, right? In addition of that, we'll try to understand the silent authentication with the Zscaler client connector with the IDP, right? And also we try to understand the provisioning and enrollment flow for the any client connector, whichever we have, right? So first thing, you guys have to understand what is the GCC client connector and why basically we use that. Okay, so to make our better understanding, we can think about in this way. In the Zscaler itself, we having the various components. One component we having the Zscaler, that is known as the Zscaler Internet Access. Now we have the GPA, that is a Zscaler Private Access, and also we have JDX, right? So that is known as the Zscaler Digital Experience, right? So these are the component, and in addition of that component, we having another component that is a GCC. So that known as the Zscaler Client Connector, and this is the very important content, means the in terms of the Zscaler, because without this component, from the user point of view, you have to think from the user point of view. When the user want to leverage the Zscaler services, this is going to come in a picture from the user device itself. And what could the user device? Might be you're using the laptop, right? It could be the Windows base, it could be the Mac OS base, or even you are using the mobile tablets, any mobile devices, and any PC computer, etc. It could be the Windows, Linux, Mac OS, whatever you have the component. These GCC client connector, means Zscaler client connector, is going to part of this end device, like deployment process. So how this deployment is going to happen? So let me show you how GCC client connector looks like. So you can see in my PC itself, right? So if I'm clicking on this here, you can see. So this is the Zscaler. This is the client connector. You can see. So it is always going to install in a user machine. So my machine having this client connector installed, and this is responsible to do the communication with your private access, do the communication with your internet access. I mean the Zscaler internet access, and additionally, it can be also can do the communication for your any kind of the internal Zscaler digital experience kind of stuff you want to do that. That is also going to come in a picture, right? So all the data can be collected, all the user behavior, any kind of the application, whatever they are accessing, that all is going to be part of that GCC client connector where that traffic is going to forward. So we'll have to understand step by step all the process, but you have to now idea like how the Zscaler client connector looks like. So moving next step, so you can see we having the cloud, and this cloud is not normal cloud. This is the Zscaler Zero Trust Exchange Cloud. And we know like how Zscaler Zero Trust Cloud Exchange basically play a vital role for any traffic which is coming from the user machine. They want to go to the any destination, could be the Amazon, could be the Twitter, could be the Salesforce, Google, Facebook, anywhere, right? Office 365 Workday. So first, they have to land to Zscaler data center. They have to land Zscaler data center. And after landing to Zscaler data center, this zero trust exchange play a vital role to just do all kind of the policy checks, firewall feature, URL filtering, file blocking, data lake preventions, user authentication. Everything is going to happen. So we'll discuss these all stuff in the later stage. But first, how we can install the GCC client connector in the user machine, we just have to understand this. So let's say suppose I am the user, I have my machine. This machine could be any kind of the PC, this machine can be any kind of the mobile devices, it could be anything. So if I want to install this, if I want to install this, so I have to follow few steps. So you can see the first step, they are saying that the user or any Zscaler administrator download the installer file that is going to be downloaded from the GCC client connector portal. Okay, so I'll show in the later stage how it is going to be happen, but you have to download. Means we once you log into the GIA portal, right? So GIA portal, GIA admin portal. So in this GIA admin portal, right, we having option to redirect the connection to the GCC, Zscaler Client Connector. Once you go on that portal, we having option to basically download the installer file. You can get directly installer file from there and you can download that. And that installer file can be downloaded in the client machine and that can be installed directly to the devices. So this is the way how the install. So let me show you the installer file, how it is going to look like. So once you go in the installer file, so let me see. So this is the installer file. So you can see this is the latest version you have. That is your 4.1.0.102. This is the installer file. So once you download this installer file, you just have to install this in your system or any devices. And after installing these devices, you have to move to the next step. So in the first step, basically, the administrator must download the appropriate PC installer, right? And after installing the file, the configuration must be done, right? Whatever the configuration you want to do for that particular client in the app profile and the forwarding profile setting, right? So you want to define which the client I downloaded for the particular user. You also have to do some kind of setting in the app profile, forwarding profile. So we'll discuss what is the app profile in the later stage, what is the forwarding profile in later stage, but this is how the first step, the client connector is going to be downloaded. So now we got this, right? Moving next. So this is for the my any kind of the connection which is limited to the computer, but this could be the this could be done via the some other way also. So if you don't want to deploy this, if you want to deploy this not directly from the installer file, so the second way, the client connector, that can be also deploy in other way also. So what is the other way to deploy this client connector portal? That means the client connector software. So the other way, we can use some kind of the Active Directory, right? So for any kind of the machine, we might be having the Windows, we might be having the Mac OS, might be having the Linux OS. So the window user, the installer file can be pushed to the domain join machine. So let's suppose this machine is joined the particular domain, and that is a domain is nothing, that is a AD server. You can see Active Directory server. So you can push the installer directly from the by the help of the GPU, right? The group policy object, whenever we just create in this AD servers. So we can even having the the functionality, we can push that uh, like the installer file from the Active Directory direct to the client machine. So this is also possible, and it is also known as the Microsoft Endpoint Manager, right? So earlier it was known as the iTunes. So there is a software is going to be available, and that software is going to be also pushed from there, right? And if you want to do for the Mac OS, right, like the any Apple based mobile, so Mac can be pushed using the Casper Suite or Titanium. So there is two option for the Mac US. So let me just write here. So Casper Suite, right? Or you can also use like the uh, Dynamium, right? So these are the two way basically we can push like the similar to the AD. We just have two different name for the Mac OS, and that can be done via this way also to just deploy this particular client connector. So one is the manual with that we understand. Another way we having that something is known as the automatic, that is the based on the AD, based on some kind of the group policy which we want to push from there. That is also option available. Moving next, so the third is like, let's suppose I want to push for the mobile devices. So we understand for the laptop and all, but might be I have the mobile, might be I have the laptop, or might be I have some kind of the tablet. So the process, the process for this mobile devices is going to be different. And how the process is going to be different. So for mobile devices, client connector installer is available in the public app store. So you can just think about the Android. You can just think about the Android. You can think about the app store in terms of the Mac OS, means the iOS based mobile, right? So you can download directly from there. It is available. So you just go in the Play Store. If you just try to figure out GCC client connector, you'll get there, right? So that is an option. You can download the installer file directly from the Play Store or the App Store, and you can install them, right? And if you want to like push them something centrally to all device, that we having the option, that is the MDM platform. So this is the MDM platform is also available. What is MDM platform? That is mobile device management. So there is option if you don't want to push manually from the one by one, right? So there is a way we can do it via the MDM platform. So MDM platform is a mobile device manager where you can just go like the VMware having the VMware workspace one, right? So AirWatch, that previously it was known as the, and like other like the IBM also having the MAS 360 solution, right? Microsoft having the Microsoft Endpoint Manager. So different company having a different solution. You can use any of the MDM solution, and if you want to globally push to the all user who is a part of the organization having the same kind of the like the policy for the organization, you can use that also, and that is also possible where you can just install the devices. So this is the third step where you can just define the user communication with the different mobile users. So now you can see uh, once the client character is going to be installed, right, it is going to be look like in this way. So you can see this is the client character. So next step, I have done the installment process. We know how can we install the client character. It can be installed via the my manual. It can be Active Directory. If I want to use the Mac OS, there is a Dynamium, like we can use that. If I want to use the MDM, that is also possible, I can use that. So once this client character is going to be installed, the next step we have to do that, how basically this client connector is going to be enrolled silently, means without like disturbing anything. It is just going to do the enrollment process with the silently. So we just have to put user credentials here, right? You just like the email ID and just have to log in, and then it is just going to talk to the you know uh, authentication process where the SAML is going to come in a picture, when your GIA is going to come in a picture, and that they are going to check what is happening, how things is working, and how things is configured against your role, and then they are going to authenticate. So after installation, device user prompt with this kind of software to just enroll the client connector, and you just have to put your username and password, you can see here. And for the GIA service, one time enrollment process is going to be required, and after one time, because user must be also enroll, or might be user also going to be created in the GIA, so that when you go for the enrollment, there is a pre authentication method for you is configured there, right? So for GIA service, this is the one time enrollment process where user is going to be authenticated by the using the method as SAML is the most recommended in the Zscaler. For the PC platform, this enrollment can be done silently based on the user device login, either by the using the Microsoft IWA, or either by using the SAML, or either by using the client character IDP, configuration of the client character portal. So whatever the configuration we can do, like either in the client character portal, or might be the Microsoft IWA or the SAML. These all three are going to be supported, and based on that, the my authentication is going to happen for the client connector, right? So also you have to think about that, right? If the client connector is also to be used to access the private access application. This client connector also need to be used. One is the public applications like based on the internet based application, but also they need to access the GPA application, means the internal application via the GPA. So in that case also we have to use the SAML as the authentication method, and they having the same identity provider like the Okta or some other thing, but Okta is like the uh, most recommended. So in that case, if using the two services GIA and GPA both, then in that case it is recommended use the same method authentication and the service providers, so you don't have to log in again to authenticate both of the services, right? So this is how it is going to happen in this enrollment process once you download this kind of the right uh, configuration. Then the most important step after this enrollment process, what is going to happen the next? So next stage, once client is enrolled, client is authenticated, means the software is installed in the PC and it is authenticated by the SAML or any other authentication method. The next stage, this client is going to form a tunnel. This client is going to form a tunnel with nearest gen based on the geolocations. So let's suppose we having like the multiple zone available in the India location. So we have to figure out which nearby zone available from me to just connect this, this tunnel. So how I come to know that which zone is nearby to me? So you just have to go in this particular portal. Let me just go there. So you just have to go here, config.gscaler.com, config.gscaler, and once you go here, then you can just have to figure out which cloud you are mapped. So once you take the Zscaler services, you also get the cloud detail where basically your company is going to be mapped. So might be there is a lot of cloud for the GIA. You can see this GIA having a lot of cloud like the Zscaler .NET, Zscaler 1.NET, Zscaler 2.NET, Zscaler 3.NET, and Beta and government, and like so. Your organization must be map either of them. So you just have to log in. Let's suppose I am the map is Zscaler .1.NET, right? So in this cloud, this is the one cloud. In this cloud, having the multiple data center. So right now I am in the India. So basically my location fall under the APAC location, not America, not EMEA. So let me see. This is a new, so not available the service in the APAC. So let me just check in the 3.1. Okay, so this is a new one. So let me just check the threes. 3.1 having. So probably if the service is not available in your region, you are not going to map in the cloud. So what happened? Okay. Okay. So you can see here APAC location. It should be also in the APAC location. Let me see again. I one should also have because it's quite old. So should I'm expecting so EMEA, America. Okay. No APAC. No APAC. Okay. So I believe there is no. In three we have the APAC location. So if I'm going here, you can see this is the EMEA, this is the America, this is the Epic location. So let's suppose I'm in India. So in India, having this Chennai, we having this gen detail. You can see this is the host name. So this is the host name and this is the IP address. So Chennai we have, Chennai 2 also we have. There is two, and in addition of the Hyderabad is under provisioning. It's not in use. You can see this is not in use. So we can ignore for time being. And New Delhi also we have, right? And we should have in the Mumbai as well. So let me see. No, in this cloud, Mumbai don't have. So basically, we have the New Delhi, we have the yes, Mumbai also we have. You can see Mumbai also we have. So Mumbai, Delhi we have, and Hyderabad we have, and Chennai we have. So there are four: Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, and Chennai. So these are the four location in India we have. So let's suppose I'm sitting in the nearby location to the any of this location, right? So my tunnel is going to form from my user machine to the nearest location. So I'm in Delhi, so definitely my near location is the Delhi Gen, right? Or Delhi Public Service Edge from this location. So the tunnel is going to be created from the direct by client machine using this app connector, right? The tunnel is going to be created from this client machine app connector toward the nearest zone. So client connected tunnel or proxy traffic to be closest healthy service edge based on the applied forwarding profile. So by default, it is going to be select the based on the geolocation. What is my closest, zone available? But if you want to bypass those, so you have to configure, forwarding profile like the pack file configuration in the user machine. That is also option available. So you can bypass the closest zone and you want to send the traffic for the specific zone. That is also possible. We can do that, right? So that option is also available. So in that case, let's suppose I'm in India. I don't want to change anything. So by default, my PC having a GCC app. This is GCC app. So this GCC app is going to build a tunnel to nearby GN. And just think about this is the GN is the Delhi zone. GN. And secondary tunnel is also going to build to the second nearby chain. So let's suppose this second is the nearby the Mumbai. So another tunnel is going to build the Mumbai. So why secondary is going to require for the resiliency purpose? Let's suppose this tunnel goes down for the any region. My ISP link goes down. My chain itself goes down, right? So I have the alternate path to reach to the destination, right? So by default, it is going to create, if it is going to down, two tunnel is not going to be created at the same time when you are working from the home or you are the road warrior. So at a time, single tunnel will be there. But if you are just sending this traffic from the office location, then this kind of the scenario come in a picture. So I'll discuss later stage how the traffic for forwarding profile is going to happen. But just think about for time being how my traffic is going to forward it from the user machine to the once the client connector is installed in the PC to the nearest gen. So the after successful enrollment, right? So let me just summarize it. What we just have to cover. So after successful enrollment of the GCC client connector on the client PC, right? You have to send the traffic from the GCC client connector to Zscaler internet access via the nearest gen. Okay, and this can be sent with the various method by using the forwarding profile. So forwarding profile having multiple option, right? You can use the pack files in the system. So in that case, forwarding profile is not going to be the GCC client character forwarding profile is not going to come in a picture. This is the pack file. That is a one option we have. Now this is the another option we have, that is the tunnel mode. So we having a tunnel like 1.0, we having a tunnel 2.0, right? That is going to create it from the client connection machine. So let's just suppose you are using the tunnel 1.0. So this having a limitations. This tunnel 1.0 will do the deep dive later stage, but this can only send the traffic on the port 80. That is the only HTTP based traffic can be sent here. Only HTTP based traffic can be sent here, right? So in tunnel like 1.0 HTTP and 443 also, sorry, I just missed that. HTTPS traffic also going to be uh, sent via the tunnel 2.0 means 1.0. So HTTP and HTTPS traffic can be going to be sent. But if you are going to use 2.0, it's not limited to the 1.0, right? It is not going to limited to the like the similar 1.0. Let me just open the slide so for the better understanding. Later we'll do the deeper dive, but let me just show something. So we'll understand later stage. So you can see the tunnel 1.0 that only send the traffic, proxy based on the port 80 and 443 to the Zscaler. But if you're going to use a 2.0, right? So 2.0 having the, they are going to build the, they are going, in this 1.0 is going to build the HTTP connect tunnel, HTTP connect tunnel, or they are going to send the HTTP connect request to the nearest gen. But 2.0 having a different method of sending the traffic, that is a TLS and based on a DTLS. So we'll discuss how it is going to happen, what is the method to send is all. So that is going to happen in a deep dive in later stage. But for time being, you have to understand the device itself is going to send the traffic by creating the tunnel, either tunnel 1.0 or 2.0. When it is going to be decided which tunnel is going to be used based on your forwarding profile, where the forwarding profile is going to be configured. that is going to configure on the GCC client connector portal. So I'll show you later stage how this portal is going to be used and how the configuration is going to happen. So we just have to do the hands-on knowledge on it. So send all the unicast traffic in regardless of the port and protocols that is going to use by the tunnel 2.0, means all port traffic. Send all HTTP and HTTPS traffic, means port 80 and 443, regardless of the port that is going to use only by 1.0, right? So this is how tunnel 1.0 and 2.0 come in a picture to just forward the traffic from the client machine to the Zscaler. So this is the third step. So let me just summarize. First step, we have to install GCC app or GCC software, you can just think, in user device. Second step, complete the enrollment process. Complete the enrollment process. In that case, your authentication is also come in a picture. So your authentication, we'll discuss in more authentication also going to happen. And third step, once everything is fine, then you have to forward the traffic. Forward the traffic toward Zscaler. And what method we have? We having a method like we can use direct the pack file, which is configured in the local PC. We having the tunnel configuration pack file. We having this. Let me just write it here. Tunnel 1.0, which having their own limitation, and tunnel 2.0. Other method also we have. We'll discuss that. But from the client machine, you just think about these all option available, right? So this is how it is going to happen after this enrollment process. The traffic is going to be forwarded. Okay. So let's move the next. So next we can see we having a concept that is also trusted network and the off trusted network. So what this means, the trust network, and what is the off trusted network? So we just also have to understand. So off trusted network is something when user is not in office. User might be sitting in somewhere in the cafe. User somewhere sitting in the home location. User somewhere sitting in the airport, right? Railway station. So that is off trusted network, means you are not in the corporate network. So the user who is not in office, they basically known as the road warriors. They basically known as the road warriors because let me just write here. So if you hear this term, what is a road warriors in Zscalers, you just have to understand the user is not in office, not in trusted network. He is roaming, right? He might be somewhere in the office, somewhere in the travel like that. So those user always going to connect to the off trusted network. So this is applicable for the road warrior, right? So what is going to happen? So again, the same scenario is going to happen. The client connector is going to form the G tunnel. This G tunnel could be the 1.0, earlier I told, or 2.0. It's totally depend on you how you want to classify your tunnel for the user. But most recommended recently, which is used, that is the 2.0. And then after making this tunnel, it is going to send the traffic from the client machine to Jan, and then Jan is going to do the proxy for your traffic while sending to any destination, right? So that's why they are talking in the precisely for this solution client connector was developed. It enable the tunneling or proxying of the traffic from the client device to the Zscaler GIA service, that is also known as the Zero Trust Exchange, to ensure a scanning and the protection of a remote user which is going toward the internet, that should be in place. So this is why this Zscaler very play the vital role, means that you are from the working from the home but your traffic is going to the destination. So someone in the middle is going to scan you, what you are talking, what kind of data you are sending to the internet, what kind of data you are receiving from the internet. So this is also going to play a very vital role. But what happened when the road warrior returned to the office? What happened? So this user having GCC client connector installed, but if it might be possibility they can return to the office. So that office network is the trusted network. So what is going to be happen for this trusted network? We also have to understand this kind of the feature. What is going to be happen in a trusted network? So in this trusted network, once the user is going to be rich, right? So your GCC client connector portal, right? Having the definition, having the configuration, they having a capability based on the IP, based on the DNS, based on the some kind of the subnet or domains. They understand this PC is now connected on the trusted network. So once they are connected in a trusted network, so then this G tunnel will be out of the picture. This G tunnel will be out of the picture. So what is going to happen? Your PC might be you are in the office LAN. So let me just explain in this way. So your G tunnel is going to be out of the picture. So let's suppose this is your PC. This PC, this is your company internet router, and this is your switch, and this is your PC is connected. So this PC is going to build a tunnel toward the chain via the router, or might be this could be the firewall as well. So this firewall or router is going to build a tunnel. Once the tunnel is going to be built from the PC and the firewalls, right? This traffic is going to the router, and router is responsible to forward this traffic to the GIA via the GRE tunnel or IPsec tunnel. So these are the two forwarding method we have now. So my traffic is either going to land on the firewall or my router. In either case, they are going to build the tunnel. It could be the GRE or IPsec. You can see here. So these are the another forwarding method we have. So one is the off trusted network. We having a tunnel 1.0. We having a tunnel 2.0. But when I am the on trusted network, means I am in the office. Here I am not in office. Then I have the two option. One is a GRE, one is the IPsec. So my traffic is going to land to the router or the firewall, and from there we having a tunnel to the Zscaler. So that Zscaler having responsibility to further take care of that. In that case, GCC is not going to forward directly traffic toward the any chain. It is always going via the your internal network. I'll show in detail how it is going to happen in the different video section. But let's say suppose you want to use a VPN tunnel, like you want to use some kind of third party VPN, you want to use the global protect, right? You want to use the SSL VPN, right? You want to use some kind of the Cisco any connect VPN. So in that case also you can exempt those network who cannot directly send the traffic to the chain when the traffic is going to initiated from the user machine. So that can be also configured in the GCC client connector for the VPN gateway bypass. So those VPN traffic is also first they are going to land to their gateway routers, right? What is the VPN gateway we have? And from there they will go to the Zscaler. They will not directly send via the G tunnels. So this is also VPN trusted network come in a picture. So we having the VPN trusted network. When I want to send my VPN traffic, my internal traffic via my internal network, then VPN trusted network come in a picture. I want to connect it by internal network. That is also possible. I can send the traffic via the on trusted network via the either router via the GRE tunnel or via the IPsec tunnel. Both option available. So off trusted, on trusted, and VPN trusted. I hope it is clear, right? So moving next, we have the next section. So let's suppose we having a scenario. Let's suppose I am just drawing this. So there could be the option we might be have, right? So there could be option where you want to not send the all traffic toward the trusted network. Still you want to exempt, you want to bypass some VPN traffic, and you want to send via that trusted network and some traffic where you want to send directly to the gen. That is also an option available. So you at the same time, when you build this GCC client connector configuration, you having an option to define which traffic is my off trusted, which traffic is my VPN trusted, and which is my on trusted. So based on the configuration, your tunnel will be there, and when they find this is the off trusted network, traffic should be treated. So they directly going to send by the G tunnels. That traffic is directly going to send to the Zscaler by the G tunnel. But whenever the VPN trusted network is going to come, it is going to via the always use the GRE router. Okay. So I hope you understand how my GCC client connector is going to be deployed. I'll show you the live demo also how it can be deployed, and you also understand how my enrollment process is going to happen. I will discuss in detail how the enrollment process because every steps having their own detailed explanations. We also understand how my off trusted, on trusted, and VPN trusted network is going to become in a picture uh, after deploying the GCC client network, and we also understand what is a road warrior and how this uh, app connector can be deployed from the Active Directory MDM platform, right? So we'll move to the next stage about the GIA forwarding modes. So we'll discuss in detail in the next video. So for time being, we can close it here. Thank you so much, guys.